Okay, Mr. Pizza. They must be here someplace. There it is, Mr. Pizza. I found one!
Beekley, what are you doing?
I look for pizza balls, and I find one! Yay!
Pizza balls?
If Beekley finds all 3 pizza balls, the great pizza come and grab Beekley a wish. And me and Mr. Pizza gonna wish for food! Food!
And they're all here in this house?
Yeah, they somewhere around here. Gonna find them all.
Okay, Beekley, you do you. This actually puts me in mind of a bad movie, so I'm gonna go cook something.
What movie?
Dragon Ball Evolution. So you keep looking for your Dragon Balls, and I'll go cook. But before we get into any of that, Beekley, hey y'all, I'm Derek, and welcome back to Bad Movie Fry Night. And tonight, we're going to be looking at something from the long-lived and long-loved franchise, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is a manga series created by Akira Toriyama in 1985. The story follows the path of Son Goku, a young boy with exceptional fighting prowess, as he journeys to become the best fighter he can be. Along the way, he meets several friends, defeats several enemies, learns he's a part of an alien race known as the Saiyans, gets married, has a kid, has another kid, goes to space several times, and oh yeah, saves the world on several occasions. Due to the popularity of the manga, the franchise was soon adapted into an anime for Fuji TV, and found even more popularity when Funimation gained the distribution rights for America. Even though the original storyline ended in 1995, the story continues to this day through the anime and several films. Now, I love the Dragon Ball series. I've seen everything from the original series up to Dragon Ball Super, and yes, that includes GT. Now, to be clear, I'm going to try to keep my fandom critiques down to a minimum during this review and just look at this as any other movie. And to go along with this movie, I'm going to make one of my favorite dishes from Japan, ramen. And I don't mean the cup ramen that you can get at the grocery store. No, I'm going to make my kind of ramen with all the bells and whistles. So to begin with, I'm taking 2 hard-boiled eggs that I've already shelled, and I'm going to marinate them in 50-50 soy sauce and mirin, or rice wine vinegar if you can't find mirin. And we're just going to let these marinate for about 2 hours, flipping them halfway through. So let's get started. Our film begins with a voiceover explaining the history of a villain named Piccolo and his minion Ozaru trying to take over the world, but is thwarted by a group of heroes. Now, this could be effective if the visuals and the monologue flow well together to build the world of the story, but it doesn't. The visuals are completely washed out, and I don't know if it's just my television or if it's the sound mixing, but the exposition monologue is very low, making the words mumble together and difficult to understand. Oh boy, not even 3 minutes in, and I'm already nitpicking. Not a good sign. Then we cut to Goku and his father, Gohan, fighting on a clothesline? Okay, not even from a fan point of view, but from a contextual one, this doesn't make any sense. Anyways, Gohan is training Goku in martial arts, but Goku is feeling more like he needs to know about how to get girls rather than getting knockouts. And Gohan just spews out fortune cookie advice.
Normal is also overrated.
Your lucky numbers are 7, 12, 24, and 3. So it turns out it's Goku's 18th birthday, and Gohan gives him the greatest treasure Gohan has, the 4-star Dragon Ball. But enough of that interesting stuff. Time to go to school. Goku never went to school. He lived in the forest with his grandfather until his Oh. I just did a, fan-based nitpick. Unbiased critiques only. where we find out Goku is a loner, but he burns a candle for Chi-Chi. So much, in fact, that while a random teacher is giving us a plot point of a solar eclipse in 7 days, he visualizes Chi-Chi in a field eating strawberries. Now, I'm guessing that they're trying to show that this movie is inspired from an anime with a sequence like this, but it doesn't really play that well because it's missing some of the essential anime cues. Well, after class, Goku opens up all the lockers in the hall with his key, which impresses Chi-Chi so much she invites him to a party that night. So while he gets ready, let's make some pork. Now I know what you're thinking. I thought you were making ramen. I am. Pork belly or pork loin is a traditional garnish on ramen. And today, I'm using boneless pork chops with a good fat layer on them. So in this pan, I've got 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And in that, I'm going to sweat about 3 cloves of garlic and 1 inch of ginger that I've cut into stalks. So now that the ginger has softened, all I'm going to do is add a 1/4 cup of dry sake and a 1/3 cup of soy sauce. And we're just going to reduce that by half. And you can tell that it's reduced enough when you run your spatula through and it leaves a nice clean streak. After that, we're going to add our pork. Then we're just going to cover it and reduce to low and let it simmer until the pork is nice and tender. Making sure to flip the pork every now and again so that it gets nice and evenly coated. Now, this will continue to reduce even though you've covered it. So if it looks like it's getting too thick, add a little bit of water or a little bit more dry sake. And be careful because the soy sauce will burn. So make sure you keep an eye on it.
Yay! Beekley find another pizza ball! Yeah.
That's great, Beekley. Where'd you find it?
Oh, Derek, don't want to know. No. Don't want to know.
Fair point. So Goku goes to the party and is confronted by the bullies from school, and they fight. Well, the bullies try to fight Goku, but Goku just dodges. Chi-Chi and Goku find a quiet place to talk, and Gohan quietly waits at home for Goku so they can eat his birthday cake. But then... attack! Piccolo, played by James Marsters, comes in, decides the Dragon Ball is not there, and blows up the house. Goku feels the attack and heads home to find Gohan almost dead, and Gohan tells him to seek out Master Roshi. And then he finds his grandfather's gi and is attacked by Bulma looking for the Dragon Ball. Goku says he'll help her if they go find Master Roshi. So the pork is stewing nicely and the eggs are basically done. It's time to start the actual ramen. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is get yourself a nice soup pot. And to that, you're going to add about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Then we're going to add about 4 cloves of garlic and 2 inches of ginger that I've just chopped up. Now we're just going to let this sit and start sauteing. Be careful with the sesame oil though. It is very potent, so only a little bit will go a long way. Now they've gotten to the city where Roshi lives, but they can't find him. But thanks to the laws of coincidence, it turns out he has a Dragon Ball, and Bulma is able to track him with the Dragon Radar. Goku explains the situation, and Roshi joins the group, and explains how his martial arts style works.
Shallow crane strike is the most basic of all the air bending techniques.
Okay, I thought we were doing Dragon Ball, not Avatar. I mean, if you're going to do a movie based off a very popular franchise, shouldn't you at least know the source material? And they go off for more adventures and end up in a hole where they meet Yamcha, a desert thief, who will help them out for payment. So while they try to figure out how to get out, Roshi tells the story that was already explained in the opening narration. So really that beginning mumbled mess could have been completely left out. Oh, thank the gods of timing. The Dragon Radar goes off and Bulma says they need to do some digging, at which point... Why didn't he do that before? And why didn't the Dragon Ball locator go off quicker? And they go on to excavate an entire volcano, complete with open sky. So how does that work? Anyways, Piccolo sends some minions to fight Goku, and Goku uses them as a bridge to get the Dragon Ball, at which point Piccolo's henchwoman, Mai, tries to take it and fails. And Roshi decides the only way to stop Piccolo is to go to a city where Chi-Chi happens to be taking part in a tournament, and Ernie Hudson is a Buddhist priest. So while they work on getting rid of Piccolo, let's work on our broth. Okay, so our aromatics are, well, aroma-ing. So now we're going to add a splash of sake. And now, since the alcohol is all burned off, we're going to add about 32 ounces of pork stock. Now, pork stock is very hard to find in grocery stores, so you can use chicken as well. Now, once this comes to a boil, we're just going to turn it down to low and let it simmer. Make sure you taste it so you know how much salt and pepper you want to add. So while the monks get their chant on, trying to create a pot to contain Piccolo, Roshi teaches Goku the famous Kamehameha. Okay. I know I said unbiased critiques, but as a fan, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this happens.
Focus it. Then release!
That's it? But that's it? Anyways, we get a little flirting scene with Goku and Chi-Chi, and then the Dragon Balls are stolen, and then they all go out to try to stop Piccolo from summoning the dragon. Now let's finish up this ramen. All I'm doing is boiling some water so I can boil my noodles, and then I'm going to take out my eggs and cut them in half, so that each person gets one half. Now we get the confrontation between Piccolo and Goku finds out he's Ozaru.
You will become Ozaru.
What? No.
There is no denial. Goku's time is over. You serve me!
So that's how they're handling the twist, huh? M. Night Shyamalan, you've done it again! And after killing Roshi, Goku goes and turns back into Goku, and he and Piccolo battle. Or, more aptly, Piccolo throws some energy and Goku dodges. Well, at the end, Goku wins, summons the dragon, and... Sorry, fanbase critique again. That's Shenron? What did they do to Shenron? Well, they bring back Roshi and go off for their next adventure. But wait! Halfway through the credit sequence, we get a cutscene of a woman making some medicine, and then we realize she's tending the wounds of Piccolo! Yeah, they were trying to set this up for some sequels, but when it came out, it was so panned by fans and critics that they just gave up on that idea. Oh well, the movie's done, so let's build our ramen. We're just going to fill a bowl with some noodles, pour over that broth, and then dress it with 1 or 2 of the pork loins, our ramen egg, and some dried seaweed called nori. You can also add mushrooms and green onions. I just happen to like it this way. So, final thoughts on the film. Okay, first I'll address this as a standalone film, divorced from the Dragon Ball universe. It's not that good. The storyline is rushed, the acting is stilted, and the lead looks constipated in every scene. Because the film is less than 90 minutes long, the world building is convoluted, confused, and not well flushed out. Most of the script is cut and paste, forgive the term, fortune cookie wisdom. The camera work is sloppy, and mixed with the special effects makes almost all of the fight scenes unwatchable. All in all, this movie is bad, but it is hilariously bad. Every scene is filled with WTF moments that make you laugh. Now, let me address this as a fan. The characterization in this film is completely off. Goku is changed from a strong and confident lead to an unsure, timid character. And that's just the start. Everything we know and love about the characters is completely forgotten in order to make room for stuff that isn't even in canon. Heck, Icarus was more in canon than anything in this movie. It's like taking a trip to Middle Earth and instead of hobbits you find IHOPs. This film doesn't act as part of the Dragon Ball universe, nor does it act as a stepping stone for new fans. If someone watched this and ended up liking it and decided to pick up the anime, they would be completely confused and probably turned off by the actual complex world created by Akira Toriyama. And just real quick, here's a list of a few things from this era in Goku's life according to the series: Ox King, Pilaf, Oolong, walking talking animals, Goku's constant hunger, the power pole, turtle, Thwar, Korin, Yajirobe, capsules, Shu, Madame Baba, the flying nimbus, Tien, Chaozu, and Krillin. How do you forget Krillin? He's literally Goku's best friend. You remembered Yamcha, but not Krillin? So yeah, there's all that. All in all, don't watch this movie if you think this is a part of the great series we all know and love. So gather up your friends, make some really good food, and have a really good time.
Beekley did it! Beekley get the pizza ball! Pizza ball! Pizza
Okay,
ball,
I've got to see
ball.
this.
Oh, great pizza! Rise and grant Beekley wish!
I am the eternal pizza. State your wish, and I shall grant it.
Beekley wish for food! Food, food, food.
Your wish is granted.
Beekley thought there'd be more!
You asked for food. I gave you food. You should be more precise in your wishes.
But they're not cooked.
Hey, you asked for food. You did not state it should be cooked. What do I look like? Julia Child? Ugh. Well, your wish is granted, and I'm out.
Well, who could have thought that we would have seen a food-centric version of the monkey's paw today?
But Beekley wanted food.
Well then, you're lucky that you live with a guy who cooks for a living. How about this? Next time, instead of going on a mythical quest to find magical balls to summon a great pizza to give you food, why don't you just ask? Now here, have some ramen.
Food! So Beekley wish did get food! Beekley wish come true! Beekley wish come true! Yeah.
Well, y'all, thanks for stopping by, thanks for tuning in, and come back later for some more Bad Movie Friday Night.
Come back. Food!